Hi, my name is Bob from Test Prep Tutorials. In this video, we are studying the requirements for exam 77-882 Excel 2010 Core. The modules that we will be looking at for this video are Module 5, Applying Formula and Functions, with 5-5, Applying Named Ranges in Formulas. So there are 3 sub-modules of Applying Named Ranges. One of them is called Defining a Named Range. 2 is Editing a Range Name. And 3, Renaming a Named Range. So, let's practice. This spreadsheet is a sales report separated by the region. The region name is down the left-hand side in column A. This is the North region's information, the South region, the East region, and then finally the West region. Well, the first thing I want you to take a look at is down here at the bottom. I have a regional grand totals area. And what I want to do is to calculate the totals per region. To get these totals, I need to do a sum of all of the numbers in the total column for that region. This is I4 to I13, and then coming down here and saying, oh, this is the sum of I4 to I13, I believe is what I said, and hit enter and getting a total. Instead of doing it that way, there is an easier method. Range names. What that basically means is I can give a name to a selected set of cells, whether it be one cell or whether it be many. So what I'm going to do is to highlight all of the numbers associated to my North region. Then I will come up here above the first column letter into this area. Now, we talked about this area before. This is actually called the name box. But now I'm going to teach you something awesome. We are going to give a name to the cells on the right side. All I do is I click in the name box one time. That cell turns blue and it gets pushed to the left. Now I will type in the word North, and very important, hit enter. When you hit enter, you can see that it is now centered. We'll do this for the next set of numbers, which looks like South. I'll highlight the totals for the South region. Come up to the name box, click, it's blue, and it went to the left, it's left a line. Type South, and again, you need to remember, hit enter. The next one looks like it's East. I'll highlight the numbers for the East region. East, click, type enter, and then the last region is West. Highlight the numbers, click in the name box, West, enter. How do I know if the names that I've typed in are really assigned to these cells? Easiest way to find out is there is an arrow to the right of your range name box. Just click the down arrow, and these are the names which we have just typed in. Clicking on any one of these will highlight the cells associated to that range. If I click on North, The cells for my north region are now highlighted. If I click the down arrow and choose south, the cells for the south region are now selected. So this is an awesome way to tell what cells are assigned to which range name. Now, I'm going to come down to the bottom, click on the first cell for the north region, type in equal sum paren, and I like to type in the name of the region, which is north, N-O-R-T. There it is, right here. All you have to do is double click and then hit enter. Let's try west. Sometimes you don't have to double click. If you want to type in the whole thing, that is acceptable. For west equals sum paren west. Enter. I'll do the same thing for south and the same thing for east. Equal the sum of south, enter, equal the sum of east, enter. You notice at the bottom there's a totals row right here where I want to calculate the totals for every one of these cells. Highlight all of the numbers for the January column. Go to the name box, click, type Jan, and hit enter. Or let the computer do all the work for you, because we have 6 more columns. We've got February, March, April, May, June, and total. We have 6 more columns to do. Instead of you doing it manually, we'll let the computer do it. Now, understand, when we were highlighting the numbers for the January region, I only highlighted the numbers because I was doing it manually. If I want the computer to do it, I have to highlight the word and the numbers. So I'm clicking and holding on Feb and coming all the way down. Now, come up to the top to the Formulas tab, and I click this button that says Create from Selection. When you click on that, Excel brings up this box. The top row is different. It realizes that the rest of these are numbers except the top row is not a number. So what this means is that it will use the top row as the name for all the cells underneath it. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Click away from it. That is awesome. You can click this down arrow on the name box and look for Feb and click on it, and you'll realize that it did not select the word February, but it selected all the numbers under February. Let's do this one more time this way. Highlight Mar and go all the way down. In the Formulas tab, click on Create from Selection. Again, it realizes that the top row is different. Go ahead and click OK. To verify it, just click away from it, hit the down arrow, and look for Mar. Click on it, and you realize it didn't select the word Mar. It just selected all the numbers underneath it. You don't have to do one column at a time. You can do them all at one time. So I can go up to April, over to May, over to June, and even over to total, and drag this all the way down. Now I can come up to Create from Selection, Again, it realizes that the top row is different. Click OK. And now there's April, May, June, and total. That's awesome. Now, what am I going to do with the range names? Well, let me come down to the bottom of the spreadsheet, and I have a totals row right here. And I'm going to get the total for every one of these columns. I click on the total sales for January. I'm in the formula bar. I'm going to click auto sum. Now, yes, when I do click auto sum, it does put in the C4 to C44, but I want to click on use in formula and choose Jan and then hit enter. I am getting the sum of Jan. You cannot click on this cell, use the lower right corner, and drag this over, as we learned in a previous video, because every one of these are the sum of Jan. I cannot use the formula copier, the fill handle, to fill the rest of these cells. I have to do them manually. Equals the sum of Feb equal the sum of Mart, tab, equal the sum of April, tab, equal the sum May, tab, equal the sum of June, tab, and finally equal the sum of total, tab. Now we have the totals for every one of these columns. All right, let's check out the next spreadsheet. The next spreadsheet, we have a commission column where we're going to figure out the commission for every single person using our 8%. Click on the 8%, go into the name box, click, and I'll type in rate, R-A-T-E, enter. Now I'll come over to the commission column and I'll say this is equal to the total times the rate. And I'll hit enter. Now I can click on this cell, put my mouse in the lower right corner and double click. That's a faster way to fill that column. Instead of clicking and dragging, you can always double click. And notice all of my commissions are perfect. Every single one is taking the total, which is to the left of it, and multiplying it by rate, which is your 8%. Let's go to the next sheet. So this is a sheet where we have an hours column and a rate column. I'm going to go ahead and select the numbers underneath the hours column. Click in the name box, and I'm going to type hours. Hit enter. If I come down to the bottom and say, give me the total hours worked equals some hours, and I hit enter, I get name. What happened? I did everything correct. Well, I didn't. Because if you click the down arrow in your name box, you notice that I accidentally typed in H-U-O-R-S instead of H-O-U-R-S. To fix it, in the Formulas tab, there's a button called Name Manager. Click on that button. look for the word hours, you can edit this range name. Click on Edit. Retype the name in this Name text box, HOURS, and verify it's still selecting the correct cell, Payroll Spreadsheet, C5 to C44. Click OK, and then click Close. And lo and behold, there is my hours. Let's do the same with rate, except this time I'm going to select rate from the top with the word all the way down, just like we did before. Click on Create from Selection. The top row is different because it's the word. Click OK. Click away from it. Hit the down arrow. Click on Rate. And yes, it highlights all of the rates in that column except the word rate. I want to multiply the hours times the rate. Now, understand, all I want to multiply for this first row, the 21 hours and the $21. Understand the range name hours refers to this entire column, and the range name rate refers to this entire column. Equals hours times rate. It highlights all of the numbers in column C and all of the numbers in column D. But it will only multiply the two that are on the same row that we are in. Since I am on row 5, it's going to multiply C5 and D5. I'm going to hit enter, and I received 441. I put my mouse in the lower right corner, double click. All of the gross pays are now showing. And every single formula is the same. Hours times rate. Hours times rate. Hours times rate. If you do not want a ranged name, you can delete it. For example, let's go back to this first spreadsheet, and let's say I no longer want this table down here. So I do not need these range names. I do not need north or west or south. How do I get rid of these? I can get rid of these by going to the Name Manager and choosing the one I wish to get rid of and choosing Delete from the top. So this is awesome. And let's do one more small thing. So let's say that you want to calculate the students' scores from their math exam. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the numbers, click in my name box, and I'm going to type score and hit enter. And then I'll click here and I'll say, well, what is the average score? And it says 84. But if I highlight these cells and look way down here at the bottom, you can see that the average is 79.25. And yet it says 84. Why? Well, if I highlight the range name called score, you'll notice I forgot a cell. Somehow I accidentally missed a cell. How do I fix this? Easy. You use the Formulas tab, Name Manager. We look for score, and we edit score. And we've already talked about how to change the name, but now I need to change the refers to, saying that it doesn't refer C4 to C6, but from C4 to C7. Just put your mouse on the right part of the last entry, click and drag to the left, and then release your mouse. Take your mouse outside of the box, over here to the first cell of the score. Click and hold and drag down. When you release and look back in the box, it is now redirected to the reference of C4 to C7. When I hit OK and click on Close, now 79.25. By using range names, the formula is easier to understand. That the name refers to, just click the down arrow in your name box, click the range name, and it immediately highlights the cells. No matter what sheet you are on, I'm going to hit the down arrow, and I'm going to choose hours, and it switches me to that sheet and highlights those cells. Where we multiplied all the cells of one column by all the cells of another column, as we have done here, hours times rate, hours times rate. Every single one of these is taking the hours column, multiplying it by the rate column. All right, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.